So I have recently started and consciously I'm moving towards making my food in cast iron cookware. I first bought a dosa tawa and I was really hooked onto the dosas that were made in that cast iron tawa, and then I bought a kadai which I use for making all kinds of dry sabzis. I use it for frying and it just works beautifully. And today I have bought this super heavy skillet from Amazon. It's a cast iron skillet, and so one of the many advantages of cooking in cast iron is firstly that it is super healthy, and secondly the flavor and the taste of the food cooked in cast iron is also really different. And I personally I really love the dosas that come out of cast iron. Now if you are a South Indian, then this might be regular for you, but for me to shift from non-stick dosa tawas to cast iron was kind of dramatic, because I didn't know whether I'd be able to care for the tawa, whether it is the right investment, whether I'll be able to get crispy dosas out of it. But once I tasted the dosas that were made on the tawa, I was absolutely hooked onto cast iron cooking. Alright, but there are few things that you need to take care of when you are cooking in cast iron cookware. One of the first things is that before you start using cast iron cookware, you need to season it properly. So by seasoning, what we mean is that we create a non-stick layer on top of it with the help of oil. Now how that happens, I'll explain it a little further. The second thing that you need to take care of is you cannot wash it very vigorously, and you cannot use this kind of a scrubber to clean the tawa. Just use a soft kind of a scrubber with a little warm water and some soap, and that's it. And don't keep this in the sink along with the other vessels and let water stay in it, because this is iron, it will rust. So you need to just take care about the washing. And secondly and lastly, it's preferable if you don't cook very highly acidic things in this. But see, if you cook acidic things, then iron is going to leach into it. A little bit of iron in food is good. Iron is a natural nutrient mineral that we should be consuming. So actually it is not that bad either. The only problem is that the taste of iron becomes very overpowering, especially if you're going to simmer it for a long time, or if you after cooking are going to store it in this. So don't do that. Even if you cook something acidic, then just remove it into another steel container or a ceramic container after the cooking is complete. And another thing that happens is that sometimes the things become dark in color. I once tried to boil dal or sabzi ke moong in the kadai, and they became fairly dark. So food cooked in iron kadai also becomes dark. So if your guests are coming over and you are concerned about the presentation, then don't cook it for long in the iron tawa. Alright, so now coming to seasoning this. So basically what happens is, when you heat oil at a very high temperature, its bonds break, and instead of this liquid form, it transforms into kind of like a gel, plasticky kind of a film, which coats this. There are small grooves. I'll show you the close-up of this tawa later. There are small grooves in this tawa, and the oil, it coats all of this, and when it is heated at a high temperature, its bonds break and it forms a gel, and this coating of oil then becomes non-stick. So it's like a natural non-stick coating that we are giving this tawa using our natural oils. Okay, so it's actually pretty nifty, and that is one thing. Once your tawa is properly seasoned, you will have no problem cooking any dry sabzi, or it will work like a non-stick cookware. Trust me on that. One of the biggest drawbacks of cast iron cooking is that it is super heavy. So if you are storing your utensils very high up on some rack, or you have back problems, neck problems, then this might be a concern for you before you buy cast iron cookware. Okay, but otherwise the health quotient is really good. The food cooked in this is iron rich, it's free from Teflon, so that's a very big pro. So for seasoning, you need any kind of natural oil. I have tried to use groundnut oil or peanut oil, and I have also used sesame oil or gingerly oil as well, and both of them work well. Don't use refined oil because refined oil is already processed at higher temperatures and all, and it's not a very natural, authentic oil. So try to use unrefined oils, filtered but unrefined. Okay, and just take a generous amount in the pan and heat it till it begins to smoke. Spread around the oil so that it coats all the areas and all the nooks and bumps. You can use like a cotton cloth to brush the oil on the sides as well, so that nothing sticks to the sides also. So all my sides are also now properly covered with oil. Now can you see this oil has started to smoke? You can see that the smoke is coming out. I don't know how well this camera is capturing it, but yeah, you can see some smoke. So this oil has reached smoking point. Now I'm going to add some onions and we are going to fry them till they are properly brown. So now these onions are properly burnt. So I'm just going to empty the pan. Don't reduce the flame, keep it high only. Now I'm just going to take this kind of a cloth and rub off all the excess oil from the pan, and then I'm going to heat it for another 5 to 10 minutes at this high flame and let it smoke. Don't be worried if you feel like you can smell burning oil. That's what is supposed to happen. You need to burn the oil. So let it cook, let it be on this flame for at least 5 to 7 minutes, and you will see slowly that the oil, it begins to dry out. It doesn't look as shiny as it was before, and that is when you know that your kadai is getting properly seasoned. Okay, once all the shiny bits have become mattish, they will not become totally matte, but you can feel a difference in the texture. That is when you can switch off the gas. So I can feel that this side of my tawa, which is actually not visible on the camera, is becoming properly matte. This side is still slightly shiny, that you can see. So I am shifting the position of the tawa so that all the sides get properly heated. Okay, so just keep moving the skillet depending on the size of your burner. This looks done to me now, so I'm going to switch off the gas and let this cool properly. So after seasoning the pan, I had just let it cool totally, and it's been almost half an hour, 45 minutes. And I just want to show you something. Now you can see that there is the shininess of the oil here, but I am touching this pan, okay, and you can see how clean my hands are. Okay, there's absolutely no oil on my hands. So all of the oil has been, it's stuck to the pan now, and it's coating the pan well, which is what is giving this pan its non-stick quality. I have not washed this pan, I have not cleaned this pan, I have not wiped this pan. I have just let it cool completely, and this is how clean the pan is. So this is a pan that's been seasoned well. So our cast iron pan is now ready and seasoned, and I'm just going to let it cool till it is totally at room temperature and easy to handle, and then it's ready to be used for whatever you want to use it for frying, sauteing, making grilled vegetables, stuff like that. if you feel that even after this first seasoning your food is sticking to the pan, then you can season it another time. And just remember that don't use a very heavy duty scrubber and don't wash this very vigorously, just lightly to remove all the food that's stuck to it, and that's that. If you are not going to store use it regularly, then store it with a thin coating of oil so that it doesn't get rusted. And that's it. If you guys have any questions or queries regarding seasoning of cast iron cookware, then leave them here. Ask them to me, and I'll try to answer to the best of my knowledge. And I hope you guys enjoyed this impromptu session of how to season your iron cookware.